Black History Month. What's your favorite part about Black History Month celebrating here in the States?
I think the thing for me about Black History Month, I think the thing I really appreciate and love is the awareness, and it lets people, it educates people, people of color, people not of color, that sort of really contributed to our country. And so there's a lot of people of color that have contributed and done great things. So I think for me, just the education part of it is fantastic.
And what could the MLB do to entice, more young Black, athletes with basketball, football out there to make them become baseball players?
Well, we've got some initiatives that we're trying to do to try to promote baseball to kids of color. Baseball is an expensive sport. It's become an expensive sport. So I know that we're doing stuff to try to provide supplies. There wasn't an African American player in the World Series this year. So we've got to try to get these superstars visible and contribute, hope that they want to be like them. We got a guy in Mookie Betts. We've got Jason Hayward. So we got to keep making that pot a little bit bigger, that pie a little bit bigger.
We talked to Andrew the other day, and he said he doesn't expect to win 111 games again. So what does it feel like to have the pressure on?
Yeah, that's right. I echo that. I just think it's one of those things that even every year that we go to, our goal is to go out there and win the West. And however many games that takes, it's going to be a different ball club this year. I would probably say I put more pressure or expectation on myself and our ball club than anyone does. So that's kind of still, when you wear the Dodger uniform, that's the bar. We're still expecting to win the division and go beyond. I'm not going to guarantee it this year. I'm not going to do that. But again, I still expect to win the World Series. I do. And I don't think that there's anybody that's a part of our organization or fan base that doesn't feel that same.
A lot of the guys you guys have lost this year are guys who have been part of most of the run this form together. How much does having more faces and voices change things?
I think that that's something that is a fair question. I think the core group of guys that we have and we're going to run out there is still intact. But yeah, there's some turnover. You just don't know until you know. And I think that any team that has a chance to contend for the World Series, there's got to be some surprises or people that you don't expect to make contributions. So this year, Gavin's going to be something he hadn't done. You're going to see a lot of Miguel Vargas from the outside. I think James Outman's going to impact our ball club. There's no post-game experience with the last couple guys, and you can talk about Bobby Miller, Gavin Stone, guys that are going to be explosive this year, Pempio. But you don't know what you get. But I still believe that we're surrounded by a lot of guys that have been on that list. I don't. I think that your guys' guess right now is as good as mine. I think Chris Taylor's in the mix. I think Trace is in the mix. I think Hayward's in the mix. I think James Outman's in the mix. And I think Bradley Zimmer, great defender, try to clean up the things he's bad, but he can really defend.
You have more questions like that this year than you probably have in years. You feel worried about that?
I don't know if it worries me. I think that, how are we going to get the most out of our ball club? You could almost argue that competition. And I think that I don't think that we've really had that, which you can say is good or bad in years past. But a little competition, earning playing opportunities, I think is good.
When we talked to the winter meetings, we were talking about Vargas as a third baseman. Now it looks like he's a second baseman. How did that change?
Talking to Dino Evil, and where Max has become pretty comfortable at third base. I think as far as the range ability, the foot speed, I think Miguel can handle it. I think he needs to continue to work low to the ground as an infielder. But his baseball IQ, the jump on the baseball, I think it's something that I think it makes more sense.
Hey, what are the duties of Major League field coordinators out here?
So Bob, we expanded Bob's role, and he was certainly pretty much an extension of me anyway as bench coach. So we're down one hitting coach. Brett Brown went to Miami. So we're looking for Bob and Danny Lehman to sort of pick up that bandwidth. So he's going to continue to work with the catchers, the running game. He's going to work with the hitting guys and just continue to be more of an extension of me. He's going to have to dig in a lot on the new rules, which he knows that rule book inside and out, which also help the pitching coaches as well as the hitting guys and the base running side of things. And then Danny Lehman now, named bench coach. More entitled, and also more the kind of the idea to expand his role and not just be a run prevention coach, but to take on more of some of the stuff that I deal with on the day-to-day. But don't ask me if I get tossed, who's going to go out there. I don't know that answer yet.
Will Garen be in the uniform? Like,
He'll be right in the dugout with me.
Dave, will either of the Miguel's play for Venezuela?
I think Miguel Rojas is planning on doing that and talking to him. It's still kind of wait and see just how he feels. As far as Vargas, I don't think that's happening.
You're not out loud. It's Trace, Mookie, Clayton. Who else do you know to be losing? Julio.
Freddie. I heard rumblings that Trace Thompson might play for England. You said that. You said Freddie. Barnes might be playing for Team Mexico. You said Dino. Will Smith. Victor Gonzalez. I don't know. I don't think he's going to play for Team Mexico, but to be quite honest, I don't know. I'm more of like, once I show up there, I'm going to see who's in the room. So, and honestly, for me, it's like I don't feel it's my position to encourage or discourage any of these guys to play for their country. That's their personal decision.
It just seems like there's a lot.
There's a lot. No, and even so, with the coaches that are going to be missed, I think what I'm looking at it, my spin is it's going to give us a better chance to look at some other guys.
Freddie was just talking about the leadership void Justin Turner's departure. Any concerns with that issue?
No, there's not. I think that if you look around the clubhouse, there's a lot of guys that have been around, and I don't see the culture with a couple guys being departed should be affected. But I do think that it's I wouldn't say a call to action, but it's an opportunity for guys like Freddie and Mookie to step up with their voices and not only lead by example, but if there's something that needs to be said, they've earned that right.
Will you encourage them to do that, or do you think that's something that's
I already have, but it's an easy nudging, but I think it's going to happen organically.
You talked about during the winter meetings, especially during that playoff series, maybe some of the intensity or urgency.
Yeah.
How much can you kind of work on that right now during spring and the end of the season with some of those conversations and when you guys start to figure out who those voices in the clubhouse are?
I don't think it's something I'm going to address. It needs to be addressed early. In hindsight, I probably should have addressed it on the front end before the postseason. And that's something, if we're fortunate enough to have this opportunity again next year or this year, I will. It's hard to debate how we go about the regular season and how we perform. So I think getting guys thinking about the postseason in February or April, I think is way too premature.
Have you seen Julio's hair?
No. He's got a new hairstyle?
I don't know if you call it a style.
Style, right.
It's been described as disheveled,
Uh-oh.
unkempt. He looks like you. That's what somebody told me.
Okay. I haven't seen it.
I don't think it was in a good way.
That's right.
Florian, was that a compliment or not?
2023, you see
The industry of baseball, changing and transferring titles, job titles, has reached new levels. Specific to the Dodgers bench coach, Danny Lehman, he's going to continue with his responsibilities on the run prevention side, but will pass some of those responsibilities to Connor McGinnis and Josh Park to work with Mark Pryor. He's going to do some stuff with the hitting coaches as far as workload management with Brendan McDaniel on player performance, and trying to make sure that we're all synced up as far as workload and how guys are feeling. He's going to be a part of more meetings with front office to get a different kind of peek behind the curtain, which he didn't really do before. He's going to manage spring training with Bob Gary. And, matchups, whether it be out of the bullpen and or the hitting matchups to pinch hit, helping me with information and preparing for that as well.
What's the, what's your reaction to Fernando news? They're going to retire his.
I just found this out. I think it's great. You're talking about changing, enhancing an organization to another country, Mexico, that fan base. I want to see without the hat though.
Doesn't do it justice.
He was such an impactful person and player with the Dodgers. And so to now get his number retired, and so from here on out, and even before today's retirement of the number, when you thought of the Dodgers in 34, you thought of him. So now we've just more finalized, and I think it couldn't have been more fitting that we did it today at FanFest with a beautiful day. And I just had an opportunity to speak to Fernando, and he was very grateful, but very apropos. Fantastic. Nice one, guys.
Last year I think you talked about with Julio, right? Him getting more efficient, getting deeper into the game. So this year, what's kind of the next step you want to see him take?
I challenged Julio last year in Pittsburgh about being more efficient, and the third time through, managing that. And how are you going to manage that? Because across the industry, pitchers have a harder time doing that. To his credit, he got considerably better from that point on, which allowed him to go deeper in games and pitch well and more efficiently. So I think going forward, I expect more of the same, and he's a guy that's going to be our workhorse. If you look at, the rotation and how it's kind of constructed, I would expect him to lead our staff in innings pitched and perform the way he has the last few years.
You challenged him before or after that stuff?